And as Mike Joy said, tires, tires, tires. Now, everybody, I will say before we even get into anything, bear with me. Having a bit of allergies. Mic settings I had to change up because of being in here. So if we have issues, just let me know and I'll help fix them. Also, the camera's going to be over here, computer over here. So if I'm not looking at the screen, it's not because I'm as antisocial as usual. I'm just, looking at everything. But that was a decent race, I thought. I personally thought, I thought it was a decent race, to be completely honest. I thought that the racing itself, the racing product, was vastly improved by the package. I think that the strategy was fun to watch. And overall, I had a lot of fun with this race. I thought that the broadcast was actually pretty solid this week compared to usual. I don't think it was necessarily like a banger. It wasn't like the IndyCar race earlier today, but it was a very solid Richmond race. And for me, that's what I can ask, or all I can ask from Richmond is give me a solid race, and we'll go from there. And autofocus, oh come on, hold on a second. Let's look right at me. Hold on. I think I can actually edit this stuff while I'm live. Hello. Zoom in. Hi. I'll zoom out a little bit, but maybe that'll help a little bit. So yeah, bear with me today. I will get to those super chats in a moment. What do you think? What do you think of the Zoom? But good stuff. By the way, go down in the description and visit Daily Downforce when you're done tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. And Chewy, you're completely wrong. I like my haircut, so yeah, screw off. Jokingly, of course. No, I like my haircut. Yeah, okay, you guys like the zoom on Zoom. But anyway, let me read off these super chats before we roll into this. Be sure to like the stream. And then also, we're closing in on 62,000. I think we're less than 50 away. Oh, you want me to do a Fox Zoom? All right, let me get back here. All right, Fox Zoom. Hi, Fox Zoom. We might be able to make that a meme, I think. But yeah, we might. I don't know what to say about the autofocus. I apologize now. I apologize for that now. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it's a low lighting. I'm not going to carry my entire studio up. But enough about me. Let's go over to talk about the race itself. And let's get us into, I don't know what's up. So I'll just stay still. I'll stay very still and hope that nobody sees me or whatever. But anyway, let's look at the super chats here, and then we'll get into the race itself. Tyler said for 5, and thank you for that, Tyler. Man, Screw Bell looked like a dang rookie, going everywhere and screwed Byron out of a good finish. I mean, I think that one, I'll personally say, I think it was a racing issue more than anything. You had, I think it was Chastain go low. Might have been somebody else, but go low of him and Harvick battling. And from there, I think you had Bowman go high. So when you're 4 wide, I think it's hard to really judge that, to be completely honest. So I'm not gonna put it too much on him. I think that the biggest blame should go on Bell for that one. But I don't think that necessarily he did something egregious per se. But I understand the frustration. Byron, in my opinion, had the most solid day out of anybody and didn't get the finish that he probably deserved to get out of this. So as a 24 fan, I get the pain. But Byron is still looking strong. You can take that as kind of solace out of the day. And also, I mean, bring this on too, for you Byron fans, that he's solid at these tracks that compare to Phoenix and Phoenix itself. And I think he's going to be very, very strong. If he makes it to the Final Four, he might be even a favorite because of that strength. Marky Mark, thank you for the 2. One of the better Richmond races. I would agree. I think it was probably one of the better ones. Let's see. Jared, thank you for the 5. This race proves that Phoenix is just a bad track. Solid race overall. I would also agree with that. I think Phoenix, the way they made it, is not necessarily, it doesn't help much when it comes to having good racing, and there should not be a championship race there. So I would, I'd agree with you on that one. And then thank you to Old Jacob for, I believe that's a 20 Norwegian krone, I want to say. I've actually been studying up currencies so I don't screw it up too much. But saying being a 19 fan gives me mental problems. I felt that way as a Dale Jr. fan, so I'm all with you there. And then Tyler, thank you for the 5. Larry Mack really elevates the broadcast when he's in the booth versus being stuck in the studio. Fox needs to come to their senses. I agree with that too. I think that today, I thought the broadcast was really, really good, and I think it should have. I think he should have been in the booth the whole time. Personally, maybe switch a couple retired drivers out every 2 or 3 years, but keep Larry Mack in there. Congrats on the Oh, no, I'm not engaged. No, I've been going out with my girlfriend for 3 years. Which, by the way, Riss, if you're watching, hi. I'll be home early Tuesday morning. But again, enough about me. Let's get to the finishing order. And I will get to the super chat in a moment, Max. I promise. But let's get to not super chat, the finishing order. I can't speak. I apologize. And here's what we got. So I have it pulled up here. This race was 400 laps for 3 hours, 17 minutes, and 36 seconds, 22 lead changes among 11 leaders, and 8 cautions in this race. On top of that, you have the fact that Kyle Larson in the Ricky Hendrick car won on Ricky Hendrick's birthday. I don't think you could really, honestly, script it better than that. Wow. That's a lot. I think that's a lot. And I don't blame Mike Joy for being emotional. 2 weeks in a row that the people in the booth are rightfully emotional of the finish of the race. So that is something that I didn't know. I probably should have done my research to understand that. But it definitely makes it fitting, and it's a very happy ending to a race, even if probably the more deserving cars didn't win. Larson's still pretty deserving, and I think he's going to be a threat for this championship this year. I don't know if he'll be as good as 2021. I mean, remember, it took him a while to heat up that year too, but I do think he'll be better than last year the rest of the season. After him, Josh Berry with a second-place run, filling in for Chase Elliott, showing that 9 team has what it takes, both on strategy and improving the car throughout the day, because at some points, Josh Berry was running outside the top 30 in a 37-car field and looked like he had no business being in a Hendrick car. But he gets a second-place run, and Hendrick Motorsports is strong, man. They're strong, and when Elliott comes back, I would not be surprised if he easily wins his way into the playoffs. Because no offense to Barry, but he is not to the level, in my opinion, that Chase Elliott is. But still, amazing run on his part. Ross Chastain with a 3rd, Christopher Bell with a 4th, and Kevin Harvick finishes out the top 5. In 6th, McDowell supremacy. Michael McDowell with a great strategy move and being able to maintain up front with that strategy move. Brings it home in 6th, ahead of defending Cup Series champion Joey Logano. Alex Bowman in 8th. Ty Gibbs, I believe, with his 3rd straight top 10 finish in 9th. If you remember on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast this week, I picked him as an underdog because I thought he'd be pretty good. And this is a good track for him. I'd say so. And then you have Brad Keselowski getting back in the top 10 this week as he deserves. Now, guys, be sure to like the stream. I'm going to let you know now we have a streaming schedule this week of the NR Cup Series. One hot night at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on IDK Players channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then NASCAR Weekly Podcast this week is on Danny B Talks channel. And we'll be leading into Bristol Dirt. But from there, we got Martin Truex Jr. in 11th. Fell back because of the scuffed tires. Had a great strategy that ultimately did not pay off. After that, you have Chase Briscoe silently staying in the top 15 for most of the day, as well as Eric Almirola in 13th, Kyle Busch 14th, Todd Gilliland with a solid top 15 run today, Similar strategy as McDowell, just didn't have as good of a car. And then after that, Tyler Reddick, Chandler Smith in, I believe, his debut, if not one of his first races in the Cup Series. A solid 17th place run, kept it on the lead lap almost all day, and finishes on the lead lap as well. Then you got Ryan Preece in 18th. He finally didn't get crashed out for reasons out of his control. Harrison Burton in 19th. Denny Hamlin getting back to his old ways of speeding and choking races away. He'll finish 20th. Corey LaJoie's top 20 runs, or general run of top 20s ends with the 21st place finish. Bubba Wallace 22nd after a pit violation. I believe under green, might have not been, but I think it was. And then you got Daniel Suarez 23rd, and rounding out the guys on the lead lap. William Byron being taken out in that incident. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I want to get to some of these super chats. And by the way, be sure to subscribe. I want to check where we are at the moment subscriber-wise, but I believe we're within 50 of 62,000. We are 43 away from hitting 62,000 today. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We do this every week. We're going to do it on Easter Sunday after the Bristol Dirt Race. So stick around as much as you can. Reading some of these super chats that have been left. Max, thank you for the 5. So happy Larson won today. Was disappointed that Newgarden won Indy and Verstappen won F1. But still a good race. Nolan Jones, I see you retracted your message, but thank you for your first super chat for $2 on the channel. I appreciate it a lot. NASCAR GN, or GN NASCAR fan 24, I should say. Thanks for the 5. A shout out to all the whiny 12-year-old TikTokers who can't sit still for 5 seconds, who hated the IndyCar race ending under yellow. Rest of the race was awesome. Yeah, I didn't get to see all the IndyCar race, but I saw, for the most part, it looked darn good. And then Dirge. I wonder if you're basing your name off of the Star Wars Clone Wars character from the old miniseries from, I believe, 2003 and 4. Grosjean, Hamlin, choking, good results, shaking hands. 670 horsepower package. Thank you for the 5. Larson fan here. Let's go, as you would say. Marky Mark, thank you for the 2. I needed my binoculars to find Blaney. Yeah, he did not have a strong run. Oh, baby, thank you for the 5. Looks like a good week for HMS. They not only get their points back, but they get a win too. Yep, and a second guy locked into the playoffs with Kyle Larson. GN NASCAR fan 24, thank you for the 2 as well. RIP to the number 23 intern that caused a pit penalty. Yeah, that's rough, and you can see it on MJ's face. Out of Bubba's control completely. That sucks for his sake. Let's get to the rest of the field here from 25th on down. 25th to 29th, these guys all finished a lap down. Austin Dillon, 25th. Blaney, 26th. The Dinger, 27th. 28th, Austin Cindric. And Justin Haley in 29th, as I said before. Then 3 drivers finished 2 laps down. That would be Christopher Buescher, Eric Jones, and Ty Dillon. Anthony Alfredo in that Live Fast 78 finished 33rd, 4 laps down. Cody Ware, 34th, 5 laps down. Stenhouse had an oil line leak, it looked like, or some kind of fluid leak. Finished 16 laps down in 35th. JJ Yaley got junked by Denny Hamlin. We never saw the reasoning for why, so if someone has that, let me know. But he finishes 36th, 7 laps down. And then Noah Gragson, the only guy to not finish the race today, out because of hitting the wall entering turn 1. Now, I did this really quick. I'm on the road. I'm tired, all that good stuff. If you saw my community post, I was dipping and dodging tornadoes. Dip, dodge, duck, dive, and dodge those tornadoes. So if I get something wrong again, let me know. Post-race results will be up at the top of the screen, as well as the streaming schedule for the week. I believe we have 3 to 4 videos coming out as well. So good stuff there. Looking at the chat right now and scrolling through. Will we see 210 at Michigan this year? I don't know. Probably not. We all still have more points than Justin Haley. There's that. But yeah, with that, let's go into the details of this race. Because in my opinion, like, because of the strategy and different kinds of strategy for each stage, I personally thought this was like the thinking man's NASCAR race in the sense that it wasn't action-packed the whole time. It was, you had comers and goers, you had pit strategies, you had all of these reasons that people were not being able to stay at the front much today. You had William Byron up there a lot. You had Larson up there, and he got there at the end. You had Harvick charge in. Hamlin was good. Bell was good. Truex. It was really interesting, personally. But there's that. So starting off, because of no practice or qualifying due to them all being rained out, Alex Bowman was on the pole. Byron got past him, though, after 11 laps before the cop caution on lap 30. After that, you had the restart on 37, and they were 3 and 4 wide every restart, and there was 3 and 4 wide racing, whether it was with lap cars or with lead lap cars or whoever, the entire race. Oh, real quick, Bluey Intro says Haley now has 1 point on his name. I wonder, can somebody let me know, and just give me a yes or no. You can spam it. I don't care. Did NASCAR.com already update the point? Because I'm trying to pull it up, but I don't want to crash the stream. Different places, all that good stuff. I'll pull up the standings, see if they updated them or not. Because then I can let you guys know what the standings are looking like. By the way, we're 39 away from 62,000. So if you haven't already, jump aboard the Iceberg. But looking at the rest of stage 1, Denny Hamlin, he sent JJ Yeley into the wall, crushed the rear end a little more than 2022, so very promising on the safety advancements in the next-gen car with that, but still rough for Yeley. From the way they framed it, it almost seemed like he didn't deserve it, but I don't know. Brendan, I get that the new car still doesn't crush as much, but some improvement is good. All right, so NASCAR.com has not updated it. I'm going to check Bob Pockris. I got my phone off camera, so I'll check all of the Twitter machine, see what we got, because I can let you know what the playoffs are looking like, because Larson, was in the top 10 after the points were given back, but it wasn't like he was setting the world on fire. So, all right, Bob doesn't have it. Maybe J-Ski has it. I'll read you all of that. Isaac says, I have an Excel spreadsheet that gives me the points automatically. I should probably invest into the time into doing that. All right. Nothing yet. So we're going to keep going, talking about the race itself. If you have any questions, I'll try and catch them in the chat. I'll be able to always catch the super chats because they light up in pretty colors. Hold on. I think I can make a funnier joke out of this. Pretty colors. That we could turn that into a meme, I feel like. Man, this autofocus is not good in low light. I gotta work on that. But the stage, after that, you have the restart. You have a bad restart with Chastain, giving up the lead to the Hendrick guys. And with that, you end the stage with Byron winning. Then you got Larson second. Third is Chastain. Fourth, Harvick. Fifth, Logano. Sixth is Tyler Reddick. Alex Bowman in seventh. Christopher Bell in eighth. Brad Keselowski ninth. And Chase Briscoe getting a stage point in the top 10. From there, you got stage 2 popping off. And with that one, I'm going to make sure I got the stream up still. Good. But with that one, lap 95, you have Blaney spinning Barry. Got the restart after that. Not much really happened other than 3 and 4 wide racing. I thought that was pretty fun. And then Larson would get the lead from Byron again. That I'm like catching up on what my stream's doing based on the way YouTube shows it. It's pretty funny. All right, thanks, John. Thanks for getting a cut. Yeah, I needed it. But around lap 160, you started having the green flag pit stop cycle start going through. Larson and Suarez then made contact. Thank God for carbon fiber, though, because on pit road, that would have been disaster before. And I see that NHRA's in the background. Leah Pruitt just lost her race just now. So I can honestly probably give you guys updates right above the camera on NHRA right now. I believe Tony Stewart I think he's racing today in a top alcohol dragster. I don't keep up on NHRA as much as I should. But from there, yeah, Blaney's crew under that as well, under that green flag stop strategy as well, accidentally leaving a wedge wrench in the rear windshield, rear window. He had to go back into the pits, and that basically sent him to the back for good in this race. On lap 196, Larson and Byron were battling. Byron gets the lead back, and then Bell takes it from Byron. Truex and Hamlin are starting to charge up through the pack, and it was just musical chairs for the guys up front. And finishing out the stage at the end of stage 2, it was Hamlin in first, Bell, Byron, Truex, Chastain, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yes, finished 7th in both of the stages, the 7th race of the year as well, 777 for a few ways for Bowman. Kyle Larson with an 8th, then 9th, Kevin Harvick, and Ty Gibbs with a top 10, gets an extra point from stage 2. Then we move to the final stage, the restart on lap 240. From there, it kind of calmed down for about 50 laps or so, till about 110 to go, give or take. Truex started the green flag stops, brought in the 10, the 99, the 8. Kyle Busch, honestly, a no-show today on some of the highest level, especially at a track he's really good at, too. But Hamlin has a bad stop, and then from there, Truex, he cycles out as the leader. You had the Bubba pit crew violation, and with 95 to go, there's a caution for Noah Gragson's contact into the wall. And in the pits, the 48 and the 20 make contact. Again, thank God for carbon fiber. Really helped. And at 88 to go, you have a restart. It starts to, again, widen out. The strategies start to play out. And you have, from there, with 52 to go, green flag stop starting again. Bell and 6 others were starting to extend the run. And then it turned into 3. Josh Berry, Michael McDowell, and Todd Gilliland, they were trying to extend it longer, trying to trap people under a lap down under caution, try and gain and leapfrog a ton of people for track position because everyone had to pit if there was a caution. And it happened. And it paid off in a really good way for all of these guys. All of them improved in finishing position from where they were running today. You had Josh Berry in contention for a win, finishing 2nd to his teammate. Then after that, you got McDowell in 6th. He was not running 6th all day. He was running about 18th. And Todd Gilliland was running around 20th, ends up finishing in the 15th position today. So great call by their crew chiefs. Great ways for the yellows to fly for them. And that's the kind of stuff I love to see in these races. That's why I say it's a very much a thinking man's race today. And there's a reason I put tires, tires, tires. There's a reason Mike Joy said tires, tires, tires. It was very much a how good can the driver conserve it, but how much good can the crew chief do at conserving tires? And we saw at the end with Martin Truex Jr., even 6-lap scuffs are too much to go against fresh tires. Napa Racing Fan 927 in the chat. I don't know. I guess you have to be gifted again. Somebody... Oh, yeah. If you were gifted memberships over the last month, it gives out unless you buy another membership, which, by the way, if you become a member, we're going to do a members-only stream soon. The romance novel stream should be, I'm nailing down a date now, but that's going to take like 6 or 7 hours. Whereas the watch-along, we're going to do race watch-along streams with the members only, as well as I'll use the chat for you guys to give your opinions on what we should do coming to having new videos. So a lot of cool stuff there. I believe we're going to watch the 1992 Hooters 500, the finale from Atlanta. That should be fun. But getting back to the race itself, you have the 19 and the 24 battling for the win with 30 to go side by side. And with 28 to go, Tyler Reddick spins, bringing out a caution. Kyle Larson ends up coming out with the lead after a poor stop from the 24 crew. And Denny Hamlin gets caught speeding. Kind of what we figured would always happen at this rate. Seems like he's always speeding. With 22 to go, you get the restart. William Byron spins in 1 off of the bumper of Christopher Bell. So, before we get into the Bell stuff, I know I'm burying the lead a little bit here, about 30 minutes or so in. The poll is up, so be sure to vote on that. Very lopsided, to say the least. And then we are currently only 37 away from 62,000. So subscribe if you haven't already. We do this all the time, and it's a lot of fun. Be sure to click the like button as we're been hovering around 500. A lot of fun today. And I want you guys to be here for Bristol Dirt and any other race we do with this. So I think I kind of said, I think Bell overreacted to avoid the car below him. I believe Chastain it was. Because I know Bowman was up top. So I agree with that. I think he did overreact on the avoidance, and I think that was a big factor. And you had Harvick there too, so it was a very tight window. I think Harvick got a little bit of contact from that, and Byron gets the brunt of it. It sucks. I would still put Bell as, if not the majority, the most of the blame on him. But I really think this isn't something that was a horrible move. I think he was put in a bad spot. Didn't know a guy was under him, overcorrected to get away from him, and it caused a caution. But I wouldn't say that it was like, he just lost his brain there or anything. I don't agree with that. I think it's just a product of these restarts. It's what happens. And I'll be honest, today, the drivers did a much better job, even late in the race, taking care of each other. I know we can talk about road courses or short tracks. I think it was a driver's deal on this one, and they did a great job, in my opinion. I see I'm tagged in the chat. Does Richmond still need improved with the racing product? If so, how? I think with this, you pretty much got the top tier of what you're going to get from Richmond. You could use multiple lanes. You were losing about 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds a run on tires. You had great strategy. I think the only thing to improve it with, and I still think this, is take off the stage brakes. Take off the stage brakes, and I think you would see that the strategy pick up even more. I think this would very much almost be like a 3/4 of a mile Pocono, in the sense that maybe you would, depending on how stuff goes at certain points of the race, run the race back on strategy and see where you get from there. But I personally was having a lot of fun. I gave it, I think, a 7 or 8 out of 10, give or take, somewhere in that range. Probably a 7. It was solid. It wasn't something that I'm going to write about in, I'm not going to be on my dying bed going, man, remember that 2023 Richmond race? That was a banger. I'm not going to do it like that, like some great Daytona 500s, but at the same time, I would go back and watch this race, and I probably will, to study stuff I missed at some point, because I had a lot of fun with it. Maybe I'll have it on in the car when I drive back home for 8 hours on Monday night. But from there, you have a restart with 14 to go. Kyle Larson fires off like a cannon, gets the win, and you see at that point, that's where Truex goes back in the pack because of the scuffs. That's where you got, some people moving forward back, just like it'd been all day, and it shuffles out in that way. I want to read the super chats here that I got. So starting with Larso for 2. Should Chase be worried about his ride being taken? Nah. Chase Elliott's one of the top 3 to 5 drivers in NASCAR. Love him or hate him, he really is. I'm going to get this kind of unzoomed off me. Nope, that's the wrong one. Autofocus. I apologize if it's getting annoying for you guys. We will be back in the normal studio next weekend for Bristol Dirt. I will get to the truck finish in a bit. I want to get through these super chats. Just because I want to make sure that you guys are getting the recognition you deserve. Bailey, thank you for the 5. There it went. Now here it comes back. Ryan Preece had a top 15 finish until the last caution. I'll take an 18th place finish. Finally finishing races. SHR is slowly making progress. Baby steps. Yep, you're going to have. Yeah, that would be the sun, I think. See, this is how out of practice I am. Usually when I used to do the podcast in here, I would put the blinds down to block the sun, but we're going to deal with it. It's all as it is. Now, we got a commenter in here that lives in Israel, and it's 3 a.m. Well, I hope you get some sleep tonight, or unless you're up early. But I'm glad that we're helping entertain people around the world. I appreciate any of you guys around the world that are watching. And thank you, David Bell, for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I want to remind everybody, since I know David Bell, you like a lot of the stuff IDK Player does, we're doing the NASCAR Cup Series, One Hot Night, this coming Tuesday on his channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe Darian will be in that race, or at least qualifying for it in the NWP 91 car. And then 2 weeks later, on a Tuesday night, I think April 18th it is, if I'm not mistaken, we're doing Talladega on my channel, last 5 races. Right now we got 13, count it, 13 guys who could leave the race at Charlotte with the points lead. A lot of fun. Let's get through some of these super chats, though, the rest of them. Cody, and thank you, by the way, Michael, for the gifted 5 memberships. Cody White, thank you for the 2. Your thoughts on the IndyCar race? So like I said, I didn't get to watch all of it, but I really appreciated how good the racing personally was. On the domination at one point, I remember clicking on Twitter. That's when I turned it on for a little bit. The domination that Award was putting on. I think like only 5 were on the lead lap. That was pretty cool. But I didn't get to catch all of it, or even as much as I would have wanted to. So I'll have to go back and watch that. I recorded it on my YouTube TV account. Tyler, thank you for the 2. Haley Deegan was 1/1000th of a second away from a top 5 spot. You know what? Talk a little about the truck race, since I didn't get to. 2 things. 1, Deegan didn't run up front much of the race, ran back half of the top 20, but she survived. Got a 6th place run. That was, about what I could ask from her with that. But she needs to improve still. But top 6, 6th place run, still pretty good. And then the stuff with Carson Hocevar. I might be in the minority here, and it's probably because me and Carson are pretty cool. And I'm happy for him that he won. I might be in the minority on this one, but I honestly think he was just caught in the wrong spot. I know people don't like him. I know that, his contact caused that wreck. It did. And he apologized for it. And if he meant it, so, I would be more critical. You've seen me be critical of people, even if I'm friends with them, for the most part, I should say. There's been times I've slipped up on accident, or slipped up. But I don't think that was intentional. I think it was unfortunate. I think that it sucks that it happened. But, the truck in front of him got in the grass. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Just hit the brakes and not go for the win. It was an accident. And, these younger drivers, they'll have to learn that stuff. I feel bad for, like I said, feel bad for Nick Sanchez. Sanchez led 168 of 172 laps and has showing a ton of promise. And I can't wait to see what he does as the year goes on. But I'm not going to bash on Hocevar for something that really wasn't his fault. I can see our comment section, for the most part, is more on Hocevar's side of him not doing it on purpose. I'm glad, because everywhere else I went on social media, they're hating on the kid. And I don't think he deserves it. And Carson, if you're watching, congrats again on the win, like I sent over the other day. But let's get to some of the other stuff here. Jimmy, thank you for the 5. Hi, Mr. Iceberg. I think today's race was great because they have a lot of tire fall off, and that is what the drivers are looking for. I agree. The tire fall off, I think, was perfect today. I wish it was like that at every track. If it was like that at Michigan, that would be awesome. Who won Xfinity again? God, I know John Hunter Nemechek finished 2nd. Was it Sammy Smith? No. You guys will tell me. Fun. It was. I thought the Xfinity race was honestly the dullest of the weekend. I thought the truck race honestly had better racing for the first 90% of it than like any other truck race or any other Texas race I really have seen at Texas. I thought the racing wasn't awful. Yeah, so Sammy Smith got pushed to the back. Chandler Smith. Okay, Chandler Smith. I got one of the names right. Ryan Sieg got P7. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. We'll talk about this week on Danny B's channel on Wednesday. Let's see. M Martin fan for life. Where'd it go? Said post a link for memberships. Okay, so I've never done memberships before, so I don't know exactly, like, on my end paying for them. But let me Let me double check how you do it. Okay, so if you go on my channel, next to the subscriber number, there will be a join button. That's how you will join as a member if you elect to do so. At least that's how I know it from desktop, and I think you can do it on your phone. I'm not sure. But if you want to, it's not something that's required every. But if you want to, that's the option. I don't know how you do it on. Do you do it on the? I'm trying to figure out how you do it on mobile. If someone else has done it, let everybody in here know. Just because if somebody wants to, go for it. Rocks reviews and reactions. Thank you for the 2. It stinks as a Truex fan. He almost got that win. I know, and I was at Truex's last win, I believe, at Richmond in 21. And I cannot still believe it's been this long since he's gotten a win. But he ran pretty well today. These are his bread and butter tracks. Oh, and yes, sorry, Noah. No mention of Dean Thompson. So 2 things with Dean Thompson. He had a career run going at one point. I think Dean was up to the 4th or 3rd position during the race, which is awesome to see. But then he also got in a really bad wreck. Was brought on a stretcher into the ambulance, I believe, to the local hospital. I saw him tweeting, so I think he's all right. I'll double check. I'm gonna turn the desktop audio off for a second, just in case I get a pop-up ad on my end. But I'll redo any updates there are. I think he said he's doing all right now. He said, "Hey, y'all, I actually deleted Twitter to do a detox for about a month, but I'm back. Just to update y'all, I'm doing good, just getting some scans done. Then I'm going to go have a beer when I go home." So there's that. That's the update from Dean Thompson at the moment. By the way, 35 away from hitting 62,000. But... yeah, so an Irvin Alvarado update here. He is out of the hospital, it looks like, or at least that's what I've seen. So I'm glad he's okay. But man, he was having a good run for a lot of that race. Andrew, thank you for the 2. House of R is a Truck Series winner and a Double E Cup Series winner. That's right. Yeah, I remember when we interviewed Carson back, I think in 2020 or 2021, one of the 2. We actually talked about that after the interview, and I thought that was. Alessandro says, Jarrett, do you think MTJ's winning days are behind him? I wouldn't say that just yet. I do think his days of winning multiple races a year and being a lock is done. But I can't say that they're necessarily done because he does do pretty well. And then Dislocation, thank you for the 5. How many times does Larson have to get hit on the track and on pit road, man? But he still got the dub. Also, Blaney's pit crew is horrible. Yeah, I think we actually have a user who does like the Blaney's pit crew. Oh no, we suck again. Blaney's pit crew or something like that. Yeah, Blaney just a lot of times doesn't have good luck, and I know sometimes bad luck is because you put yourself in a bad position, but a lot of times Blaney just has bad luck because he just has bad luck. Not much more I can really say about it. Looking at some of the other stuff, by the way, letting you know, we will be live. I will be home in the studio live after the truck race, as long as there's not a rain delay that pushes it to 12:30 in the morning. And I will be live whenever the Cup race ends at the Bristol Dirt Race. I'm 90% sure that I'll be at Martinsville, by the way. So we might not have post-race streams that weekend. All depends, but I might try some cool stuff with you guys at the track. From there, I think what leads us just to Bristol Dirt. Bristol Dirt's coming up. I think it's going to be chaotic. I personally like it. And I know that we would rather have 2 main Bristol dates, but nobody showed up to the spring race. It sucks, but this is what it is, man. It sucks. If people showed up, we'd still have a spring Bristol date. And I'm part of the problem. I never show up to the spring one. But yeah. Oh, yeah, and then she ranked 244. And no more tornadoes. There's actually a tornado outbreak on Tuesday coming up. Why I'm, hell or high water, I'm going to be leaving, getting out of Illinois before that happens, because driving through it is terrifying. I was doing good time, thought I was making it, and then I didn't. So there is that. That's actually not my dad's, it's my grandpa's. But yes, he does have a lot of fun toys in here. And this is where I grew up. This is where I watched the 2005 Daytona 500. It's where I watched some of my favorite moments in NASCAR history, right in this garage. So it's really fun, man. And I like being able to share it. And I know I guarantee my grandpa likes me sharing it with people. You should, if you guys ever get the chance at whether it's Super Chat or at the track, ask. Yes, it is a sweet Chevelle. Ask Eric, Darian, or Danny about my grandpa's garage. It's like just everywhere. I mean, there's so much stuff everywhere. I'm looking around, like taking a little mini tour. I'll show you some of it. Okay, so you see all that stuff in the background. Actually, where's it at? See the skeleton back there. Little poem I wrote back there. NASCAR one, of course. But I'll pick you guys up for a second. And NASCAR stuff there. Actually, if you look that next to the door where the 2020 class thing is, the Earnhardt team, that is the 94 championship team. I got that signed for my grandpa by Richard Childress. This camera's spinning. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt up there, Yoda. My grandpa's a Bears fan, so Harley. That Harley was from the 100-year anniversary of Harley Davidson. So a lot of cool stuff. And for a lot of you people who are new to hear, and a four-wheeler. But for a lot of you who are new, this is where the channel and the podcast really grew on my end. So happy to share it again. Let's see. One more super chat I see rolled through from Hunter for 5. Between Larson winning and the Penguins kicking the Flyers' ass, today was a good day. Well, I'm happy for you. I had fun with the race. I like Larson. Honestly, I like most of it. So, though my Cubs did not. But that's we got our ring. And that's pretty damn normal. The last couple of years for them not to do good, and a lot of years. But we got the ring. That's what matters. Need for Speed 5353. Not even Delaware is safe from tornadoes, man. The weather be wilding right now. Yeah. I saw there was actually, I don't know if it touched down or not, but there was a tornado north of Green Bay, up in like near the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That was crazy. And then thank you, M. Martin fan for life. I'm glad you could find the membership. Thank you for coming aboard. I appreciate it a ton. Let's see. Finishing out here, reading this. Isaac says, hey, Jarrett, check the weekly podcast guest Gmail. I sent my NASCAR Excel spreadsheet if you want a way of getting NASCAR data quicker. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Let me write that down so I can credit you anytime I use it. That's really cool of you. Thank you, Isaac. All right. And that reminds me, if you want to give your top 75 list, it's due in 17 days, April 19th, top 75 Cup drivers list, for us to kind of put it all together and make a conglomerate of the 4 hosts and the audience's top 75 NASCAR drivers list. You can send it to weeklypodcastguest@gmail.com. Send it as Excel sheet. You can send it as an email, as a Google Doc. Give reasoning for your picks too. Top 75 Cup drivers, send it to weeklypodcastguest@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to add it in. But guys, I think that about covers it. We're 2 minutes past the hour. I have dinner waiting for me, and a long drive in Texas tomorrow. Wonderful. Getting the bad stuff out of the way early in the week. But I will see you guys on Tuesday night. I'll see you guys in videos on Wednesday night. We're going to be busy, and I can't wait to see you there. By the way, as we leave here tonight, we are still 35 away from 62K. So you haven't subscribed, be sure to. And until next time, have a good one. Night, everybody.